Okay, hello, this is What Would You Do, week number 5, and we went with food waste. So the scenario is that me and a friend are volunteering at a community assistance network, and we're basically attending a board meeting that's discussing a proposal to establish a new food bank in the Baltimore area. With limited funding, the board pretty much has to decide whether to build a new warehouse to store more food or to invest in improving transportation and distribution so we can deliver the food directly to that community. The concept guiding my decision is called economy of scale, which is defined in Chapter 16 on page 464 as per unit cost of inventory decreasing as operations grow. We need to perfect distribution before we increase storage. I'm hopeful that this will lower unit cost, allowing us to provide more resources and inventory further down the line. So, in the first scenario, I chose to improve distribution instead of building more storage. Economy of scale only works if waste is reduced and the system runs smoothly. The Future of Food video explains that about 35% of food globally is wasted, and it's often because the problems with distribution, not because there isn't enough food. And also in chapter 15 on page 430, it's described that this scenario and this waste is part of a waste stream, which includes not just the food thrown away at the end with the consumer, but also the resources used to produce and transport it. This pertains to the economy of scale because it only works if waste is reduced and the system runs smoothly. If delivery systems aren't efficient, adding more storage would just mean more food sitting unused. I'm approaching this with an incentive that ultimately reduces waste. So before expanding, we need to make sure that food is moving quickly and consistently to the families. This will not only reduce waste, but provide a lower cost that will allow us to grow the scale of the operation and allow us to provide even more of those in need with even more resources while minimizing waste. Economy of scale is basically just one big cycle. And I personally like to find balance that appeals to those who worry about cost and money, as well as obviously those who worry about the cause. For the second scenario, I chose to focus transportation efforts on delivering food directly to the families rather than requiring them to pick it up at a central location. Since we had already prioritized improving distribution, it made sense to pretty much just stay consistent with that approach. Also, many individuals who are facing food insecurity, it's reasonable to think that they may not have a reliable mode of transportation. And in chapter 17 on page 491, it really touches on how environmental burdens, as well as the benefits, aren't really equally distributed across communities. So directly delivering the product can potentially reduce these barriers and would hopefully create a more equitable system. So in the end, the decision wasn't just about choosing between a warehouse or a truck. It was about making sure that the system actually works before we try to make it bigger. Economy of scale shows that growth only lowers costs when operations are already efficient. So by focusing on distribution first, we reduce waste, lower unnecessary resource use, and we make sure food actually reaches the families who need it. That approach supports both financial responsibility and sustainability. Instead of expanding too quickly, we're building a stronger foundation that can grow effectively and efficiently over time. Thank you guys. I look forward to watching and listening to your videos.